But thank you very much. And Ian, I heard most of what you've said, so hopefully I haven't missed much there towards the last 2 minutes or so. I also know there are a few immigration professionals here, so I'll be very careful with what we speak. Now, okay, let me just try to share my screen and hope for the best. Right, I hope everyone can see my screen. Yeah. Perfect. Right. Thank you again for attending today, and good afternoon to you all. My name is Antonio Lam, and I am the Managing Director for Shores and Legal. And welcome to our community. I always say that because we are slightly different as a law firm. I won't go too far with this because you don't really want to hear who we are in that sense. But we do things slightly differently. We work with our partners to make sure that it's not only about you coming to the UK, that's important to us. It's about how you develop in the UK. That's also key to us. And so we work through the entire life cycle program of any business, from visa to business growth, through, of course, our network partners like Moore Kingston Smith, DIT, and then several other partners that we work with, just to make sure that your experience is something that's fruitful and amazing. And that's what we really care about. And one key point I'll note on this is that we are award winning. We just literally got that award as the recognized leaders in immigration law. So we're extremely proud of it. So I would say it every time in any speech that I do. But importantly is we love what we do. And I hope I'm able to share with you some of the things that, or some of the exciting things in immigration today. Now, before we actually go into the roots of what we're going to be talking about, the immigration routes, I want to send one key message, which is, oh, here we go. There's always an immigration route to facilitate your business activities in the UK. Now, I've been in this for about 15 years, and I have not seen a situation where I cannot find an immigration route to facilitate a business need. And I know Vikram has hopefully outlined a whole list of those, and I will talk about most of those as well. I've divided the route into talent, innovation, and skilled workers. So hopefully that's a bit easier to understand. So onto the talent route. One of the most popular, I would say, routes, and Ian has hopefully mentioned it a few times in his presentation, so it's a great plug-in for me, is the sole representative route. I absolutely love this route because it's, I never call it the sole rep route anymore. I call it the exploration plus route. The reason for that is it's very different from a business visa, where you come in and try to explore your market stance, how you're going to sell to market, but really set up your first space in the UK. Now, it's really designed for senior employee of a business to come to the UK to set up your first subsidiary or the branch, really get your teeth into how you want to run your business in the UK. Now, again, why do I call it Exploration Plus? It's because it gives you that freedom to really do your business the way you see fit. It's really a business celebrated route, I would say. Now, there is no requirement whatsoever in terms of the monetary investment or the capital investment that you need to bring into the UK. There is no requirement at all as to how many local workers that you need to employ in the UK. So really, you have that sort of freedom to build that business and expand your empire in the UK the way you see fit. And of course, we do hope that you will bring capital investment. And we, of course, hope that you will bring employees to the UK as well, and hire employees into the UK. But essentially, this route is great for any business that really want to have that sort of time to explore the markets in the UK. It does give a three-year visa to begin with. You can continue to extend it, and there is an option to go permanently settle in the UK by the sole representative or that of the family members they bring over to the UK. I won't go into the actual route itself, but it's a great business tool, I would say, almost, for you to expand your empire into the UK. Now, then there is the global talent visa, which is a little gem that nobody, well, I wouldn't say nobody uses, but not a lot of people use. And in fact, people who uses it tend to be tech people, people who are in IT specialists, or they've been doing great in the technological world. But in fact, this global talent route really celebrates the individual achievements within your own sector. It covers all grounds whatsoever. We're looking at tech, life sciences, we are looking at research, we're looking at art films. I've done one for jewelry, designer. I mean, you can name the sector and it's there. Now, the global talent visa effectively is a more for Phoenix, what I call, of what we used to call the tier 1 exceptional talent. It's divided into 3. The first being leaders of your field, which I call exceptional talent, or the emerging leader, which is the exceptional promise. Promise, and then the UKRI funded researchers. UKRI is UK Research and Innovation. They provide approved grants for research-based projects. Now, this is a different animal, which is created as a result of the Global Talent Scheme a few months ago. It really focuses on whether you have, at least £30,000 of approved investment from approved investment or approved investment project from UKRI, and whether the tenure of that is 2 years plus. I won't go into too much of that because that in itself is great for STEM subjects, but I'm just looking through the list of industries here, so it might not be as appropriate at this stage. But what is appropriate is the emerging leaders, which is the exceptional promise, or the leaders, which is the exceptional talent. Now, they share very similar DNA in how we celebrate these type of talent. We look at the achievements they have within their own field in terms of what contributions have you done in terms of media recognition, whether you have won awards or been nominated for awards which is internationally recognized, how, have you distributed a particular product nationally or innovative product nationally or internationally? What type of publication have you done? What have you really brought into this field in terms of both within your sector and outside your sector? What makes you a great talent? The only difference between exceptional promise and exceptional talent is, for exceptional talent, you are supposed to be the lead already. You are celebrated as a leader, and therefore we really need to see, or rather the Home Office really needs to see, significant contribution to your field rather than contribution to your field. Now, how does one get that? Or how does one claim that they are? Well, they make an application, but more importantly, one of the 6 endorsing bodies, which covers all types of scenarios in terms of what sector you're in, what field you're in, will endorse to see, are you exceptional? Each of the fields that they look at have different evidential proofs that you would need to provide, but nonetheless, it sort of shares what I've just said, which is your recognition, your awards, your publication, your distribution, for example, whether you have a patented product, those type of stuff will be looked at. Again, this route is really great because it's, again, a freedom pass, really. There's no requirement for you to work for someone particular. There's no particular need for capital investment or employing local workers. Is really, you can continue to do the research that you've been doing. You continue on your field and find a job that, in the UK, doing what you are great at doing, or even continue to study if you need to. And so global talent is actually, I guess, the freedom pass and the recognition, really, to celebrate how great you are. The process is slightly longer, like sole representative, for example, if you're a senior employee, it will take about a month or so. Global talent, you're looking at about a 4-month sort of turnaround from endorsement on the way to visas. So that's really a summary of the talent route. I'm sorry, I'm speeding through this because I'm conscious of time as well. So please do ask any questions at the Q&A. Happy to answer any of those questions. Now on to the innovation route. I'm going to look at those two on a side-to-side basis. Again, they share extremely similar DNA. This is the rebirth of the Tier 1 entrepreneur route, which some of you may know. Effectively, the entrepreneur route is designed for individuals who come to set up a business, in the UK. Unlike the sole representative, it's really about setting a branch or subsidiary. The entrepreneur was to set up an entirely separate business in the UK. Now, the Startup and Innovator Visa wants to do that. More importantly, it wants to enhance something, which is whether or not you have an innovative, scalable, and viable business idea that you are going to share with the UK. So what is innovative, scalable, or viable? Effectively, innovative is where you have a genuine original business plan that meets a new or existing market need. Are you creating a competitive advantage with your business idea? And then we look at whether it's viable, whether you have a business plan that is realistically being able to be achieved with your available resources. Do you have the skill, the knowledge, and the market awareness to actually run that business? And then, of course, we look at the actual scalability of it and say, hey, by the way, do you have evidence of a structured plan where you can create potential jobs in the UK and to grow, in a national or international market? Now, both of the startup and innovators share exactly, as I say, the same DNA. The only difference between the startup visa and the innovator visa is that with the innovator visa, you're supposed to have that knowledge of running that business already, with, of course, subject to your idea being innovative, scalable, and viable in that sense. With the startup visa, you may not necessarily have all the tools in your box, but you have this absolutely great light bulb moment, and you say, this is it, this is the right thing to do. Yeah, so it's very open in that sense. Also, what it does is it gives you a 2-year visa, effectively, to really research that project, to really understand that idea, not only present that idea as a story, but actually, proof that concept before you really embark on the business itself. You can come into the UK without any prior investment whatsoever or promise of investment. You really here to explore that idea. More importantly, the great thing about the startup visa as well is you're able to work in the UK during those 2 years whilst so you can support yourself effectively whilst you develop that business idea. The innovator visa, on the other hand, is because you are ready to run that business, you will be expected to invest no less than £50,000. Now, that £50,000 does not necessarily need to come from yourself. It could be funded by one of the endorsing bodies. Moreover, with the innovator visa, you have the option to be able to settle in the UK if you need to, and which is a great thing if you want to permanently settle in the UK. Now, some may ask, well, why do I want to start a visa apart from the need of not needing to put in that £50,000? Well, the idea is you can actually use the startup visa to passport into the innovator visa if you need to. So effectively, you're able to be given as much time as possible to make sure that your business is successful in moving towards that path of realizing your business goals. Now, with all the new routes that are out there, one thing is very common, which is it needs to be endorsed by an approved endorsing body. What that really means is there's a whole list of approved body by the Home Office, which essentially say they are qualified to see whether or not your business is innovative, scalable, or viable. Again, that process could take about 2 or 3 months, depending on the actual endorsing body itself. But the rest of the process is pretty quick. It's around a week or 2 if you're lucky. And as Vikram said, there are always priority routes that are out there, which makes life a lot easier for everyone. But the startup and innovative visa effectively is an ideal route for business for people who haven't got a business in the UK. It's their first business in the UK, having a great business idea, and really want to have a stab at running an amazing business here in the UK. Now, then there is the here we go. And then there is the sponsored worker routes. This is really more a step up. Again, you have seen that on Ian's slides as well, which mentions about this visa side of things. It's a step up from the sole rep if you need to. The sole rep is your first office, but this is really about you having already established a business in the UK. In some circumstances, sole rep doesn't work for you because you're a majority shareholder, for example, or if you want to already set up in the UK because you want to set a bank account and so on and so forth. So you hire a local worker being here, but yet you still need overseas worker coming into the UK. Now, the sponsored worker routes are the right route. Now, I've put those side by side because they are really one of the same thing, but for the January 2021 post-Brexit, the big B word, of course, which incorporates, of course, the same routes, but in a very different way. And again, Vikram has helpfully pointed out some of those changes. Now, the sponsor route comes in 2 effectively. One is called Tier 2 General, and the other one is called Tier 2 Intra-Company Transfer. The General is designed for people who need new hires from overseas, and Intra-Company Transfer is designed for people who are going to be seconded from your head office to the UK. So it really depends on how you set up the business in the UK, whether it's a separate entity, whether or not it's a branch or subsidiary. If it's the latter, then Intra-Company Transfer may be a suitable route. The only difference, of course, between General and ICT is General allows settlement or indefinite leave to remain in 5 years, and Intra-Company Transfer doesn't, but it does allow a potential residence in the UK of up to 9 years, depending on the salary. I won't go into too much detail. But essentially, with the skilled worker route, effectively, a company is sponsoring a worker to come to the UK, or what is easily known as the work permit route. You have to have a sponsor license, which is a license which you apply for to the Home Office to say, I have a system in place where I can control migrant workers and I can follow the immigration rules to the T. and then you will be able to actually issue work permits to your workers. There are stark differences between what will happen in January and what is happening now. At the moment, for example, Tier 2 General, the skill level is graduate level job occupation, which means degree above. In 2021, the skill level will dip to level 3, which is effectively A level. What this really means in reality is that the list of permissible jobs that allow the skilled workers in the UK has now almost tripled as a result, giving industries and employers a much greater outreach to the workers that they need from obviously within Europe and also overseas. More importantly, there is a need, for example, Tier 2 General to do a resident market test, which essentially is advertising for position to make sure you don't displace local workforce. That is being taken away in January 2021. Again, shaving a lot of time off the need to advertise for position. So, because it's really driven by business again, is, hey, we know you need somebody, so you don't have to show us that you need it. Just do it. It's basically well, maybe somebody might sue me for saying just do it, but essentially that is the message there. Again, of course, I won't go through that in detail because Vikram has already covered this. It's a salary level and no capping of the number of workers that you can put into the UK, and so on and so forth. So this is a great route if you already have an establishment in the UK, or if you have a sole rep in the UK, because sole rep could actually be your first local worker. And if you need further workers, you can apply for a sponsor license and transfer your workers into the UK under these category. Now, I have a final slide and I'm just running out of time there. Actually, I'm already over time there. So there are all these other routes that one could think of. And that's the theme of it is really, there is a route for everybody, from investor route, which is for high net worth individuals, to Brexit if you have an EU link, to family route if you have a British link. And there are other routes as well. And of course, this is worth a mention, is there will be a penning of a new implementation of what we used to call a highly skilled migrant program, which is based on qualification, skills, and experience, in allowing almost, again, another freedom pass, a no strings attached permit for you to work in the UK for 5 years and gain settlement in the UK after 5 years. This hasn't been announced as to when it's going to actually be implemented, but they are currently drafting it. So we hope to see something along those lines. Just to finish off before Kishore shuts me up, is my closing statement is the UK really truly is an open marketplace. From all the years I've seen, is the policies and the system that's being developed have always been to attract businesses across the UK. It's not a final product, I've always said. I'm one who is most critical of the UK immigration system, but certainly every system that they do is to attract businesses in the UK. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Antonio. I think, given the shortage of time, I'll probably just quickly jump onto the Q&A. Antonio, if you could just stop the screen share. Yeah, I could see. Sorry. So I request everyone, if you could just raise your hand on the screen so that I can basically start with the Q&A with your side. Okay, right, I see. Any questions from the sessions people have? We're happy to answer any of those. Yeah, sorry, Pawandeep.
Hi, Antonio. Just a quick one. As you are aware that I'm also into immigration industry over here in India, and we get a lot of inquiries where people actually want to move to UK either on investor route or a business. They want to expand their business into UK now. One of the visa options, which is overseas representative visa, I was looking into, but I was quite confused in that can the owner of the company can move to the UK, or it has to be someone, a senior person, a senior representative only, who can move out there?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think I've confused because of time. I sort of rushed through that part. So the sole rep is exactly the same as the overseas representative. So that's first protocol. The second thing is it can be owners, but it cannot be majority shareholder or person with majority control of the business being coming to the UK. In fact, there is a change of rules on the 8th of June, if my memory serves me correctly, to certify that that's the case. Now, the reason for that is because the Tier 1 entrepreneur route was cancelled. Which means a lot of people were utilizing the sole representative route as a means to come into the UK to set up the business. Now, whilst owners are able to come in, they cannot be a majority shareholder. Now, that would include spouses that are owning part of that sort of shareholding to make it a majority.
So if the owner is, say, has 70% and the spouse has 30%, so still we cannot put an application on the behalf of a spouse because the main applicant also has 70% of.
Well, technically you can put it for the spouse, and it really depends on, again, it really depends on case-by-case basis. So being very general about this answer is we really look at what is the control within that company. Now, if it's a husband and wife situation, I very much doubt that with the new changes under the genuineness test, that it will be granted for a very simple reason is you effectively has control over the company, despite the fact that you only have 30% shareholding. More importantly, it's very clearly stated that if you or your wife or spouse or whichever may be your husband owns, a majority shareholding as a result, there will not be an opportunity for the spouse to come in as a dependent. Which means you may well be considered as a minority shareholder or controller of the business and be able to come in, but you're really stuck by yourself and your spouse might very much hate you for not bringing him or her along. So those are the rules. So genuine.
What would be the, which visa would be the best route? See, honestly speaking, in India, the people have two reasons to come to UK. A, they want to expand their business. B, they literally want to move to UK and settle down there. Okay. For the second category, where people have the money, they have funds, they have even quite a millions to invest in the UK, but then we do not know the exact route, the exact visa which they should follow, and the owners can actually shift to the UK.
I think that's the thing. I think the beauty of UK immigration rules is there's no quid pro quo. We have to look at the person, and that's why I love my job, I guess. We really have to hear that story. What is that person's story? What circumstances can we fit into an immigration rule? I mean, if they have £2 million sterling to invest in, perhaps investor is the right route. If they have a sparking idea, a budding idea, it could well be the startup or the innovator visa. If they, want to invest and see how the business grows, and then come over to the UK, they may be able to utilize, for example, the skilled worker routes.
Okay.
So we really have to look at those circumstances. But
as you said, there's always a route to it, as you said.
Absolutely,
there should be something in there. Just another one. In your another visa, I think innovator visa, they have to get the endorsement from one of the bodies. So does that mean if you present their business plan to one of the these bodies and they approve it, will that mean that yes, everything is voted, or will they further have further interviews or other checks onto it?
So the endorsing body is responsible to identifying whether the business idea is innovative, scalable, or viable. So they will do that. The Home Office generally will not double dip effectively on that decision. Okay. They may, if they do find that it's not a credible individual, let's just say, they can or they have the right to revisit it. Or there may be other circumstances which may affect their application, such as immigration history, their personal financial circumstances, so on and so forth.
And there is any capping on the innovator visa that how many?
There isn't, and that's the beauty of everything is the cap, or any caps that we have seen before is now going to be, well, it's either taken away or going to be taken away altogether. So it's a welcome all, and with a great British flag flying at the moment.
That's good. And just one more, sorry guys. I know from 2021, the new tier 2 thing is starting up, and they have come up with this shortage occupancy jobs kind of. Is there any list of jobs which are considered to be shortage, or is it?
We haven't got the. Oh, so this is an evolving animal, as I say, and we have the first jab, I would say, at the list. So we've got a whole big list already. So it's actually quite brilliant. The shortage hasn't been done yet, but the MAC, which is the Migration Advisory Committee, which I work quite closely as well, is actually looking at what those jobs are going to be. We already currently have a shortage occupation list, what we call Appendix K at the moment. That list will likely be transported over, but we don't know yet. So they will look at business needs in accordance with, of course, COVID. So we now have the healthcare scheme, and then, of course, any other needs as per Brexit, effectively.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for this.
No problem. Pleasure.
Vikram, there is one question which I think will be best that if you are able to answer. In terms of doing business between UK and India, are there events to support Make in India products, perhaps scouting Indian startups and investing from the UK? I'm assuming this is mainly for companies from UK wanting to kind of do business in India.
Yeah, and which sector is this in?
Mr. Sanmukh Bawa, if you're able to just unmute yourself and you could ask the question directly here. General sector, no specific sector as such.
So the question was that if there are opportunities for Indian startups to invest in the UK.
No, it's more from the trade side. If there are any events being held where UK companies probably are looking at investing or partnering with Indian companies and contributing towards the whole Make in India sort of effort.
Sure. So as you're aware, Kishore, that we do a lot of activities around the trade side, which looks at all our British companies coming into India and investing and doing some bit of matchmaking, like joint ventures and strategic partnerships. So our trade colleagues across all sectors do these events and activities. That's why I asked the sector. So if Mr. Bawa can just let me know which sector, because we are currently, as we speak, we are doing a lot of activities on the trade side as well. And if we know which sector, then I'm happy to sort of connect him to the relevant colleagues.
Hi, Vikram. I'm sorry, I could get my my voice unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, good. No, thank you very much for that response. I'm particularly looking forward to the construction industry. I think India has a huge talent in terms of Make in India products and also startups. And obviously, we'd like to find, where do we find these talents? You know, because in the UK, there's people respect a lot more professionally, and they look forward to good technology, and India's abundance in it. So I think if we can somehow find a way to synchronize and get those technologies here, to get some investment, get people on board, and move it forward, maybe more quickly, if we can do that.
Sure. So I think Sanmukh, if you drop me an email with your exact requirement,
indeed,
we can have a offline conversation and give you more details. So I think, in fact, there is the other way around also happening. There are Indian builders who have invested in the UK. But your question is interesting because you're looking to pick up from the technology in the UK and you want to bring it back to India, right?
Correct. Well, both ways. Yeah.
So
but we'll take it offline.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you drop me a note, you've got my email ID, or you just let Kishore know, whichever ways, and
Sure.
we are happy to sort of do a session with you, and we can catch up and do the details around that.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime.
Sorry. Another one, sorry, Vikram, on the sector focus. This is primarily on the automotive side. Can DIT help us find a marketing representative for automotive components in the UK? This is from Parmeet Singh.
So they want to find a representative. Yeah, I think we have a very strong auto sector.
Right.
And if he's looking for information, I think we should be able to help him with that. Yeah.
Just to add to that, Parmeet ji, yes, I think DIT or even Kingston Smith, we can have put you in touch with recruitment firms in the UK who can help you in identifying some of these marketing representatives. Yeah, definitely. Mr. Ramneek Singh ji has raised his hand. Yes.
Yeah, my question is to Vikram. Since I run a freight forwarding company in India, and of course have major tie-ups with the airlines, so I'm looking up for people who have, a lot of buyers in the US or the UK, have shipments, have their own agents. I'm looking for buyers who are looking for forwarding out of India or into UK into India. So if I can have some tie-ups of the logistics, that would, really help us, have a strong kind of a network or strong kind of business both ways.
So, that's a good question, Ramneek. I think normally what we do as the Department for International Trade, we do a lot of networking sessions, right? Yeah. Where we provide a platform to both Indian companies and British companies, right? To come, we bring them together and then we make the introductions and then leave it to you and the company there to take the discussions forward.
Absolutely.
So now this year it's been slightly challenging because of the current pandemic. We have been unable to do any real live sessions, right? One of the things that we are doing in September is taking a virtual trade delegation to the UK and doing some bit of networking with British companies.
Right.
So, but on your specific request, again, what I'm going to request you is if you drop me an email, right? I will come back to you, or one of my colleagues will come back to you, giving you what exactly you need. So we can take it offline and just answer. If you're looking to connect with some British businesses, we will figure out a way of making that happen. The only thing that is worth keeping in mind is that we, being a British government department, we don't do business development per se for anybody.
I understand.
But we can always provide a platform to you where you can meet a lot of prospective business contacts.
Perfect. Sounds good. Sounds good. Because we just need a referral. Whether business happens or not happens, just leave it to chance. So at least we get basically a foothold. Then we can just talk it over, and whether it's leave it to destiny how it happens.
And we'll be happy to support that. So if you just drop me an email, we'll get you the information.
Perfect. Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Anytime.
Okay. There are two more questions. One is for Antonio, Mr. Surinder Sahapati, if you're still there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Antonio, actually, we have a lot of expertise in naturopathy as well as organic immunity booster products in India. And we want to do that kind of startup somewhere in UK. So what will be the agencies we have to approach for those products, and mixing that idea with yoga, naturopathy, as well as immunity booster products, organic products?
I mean, I think that's an amazing sort of mix in itself already. I mean, if you're looking at an immigration point of view, I'll certainly really look at the startup visa, for example, or the innovative visa. It really depends on how ready you are. There's a whole list, which we can take that offline. I mean, by all means, email me or through Kishore. We can provide you with that list of endorsing bodies that can actually look at your business idea. Now, in terms of sort of hooking up suppliers or potentially, work in partnership, then I think that's more a Vikram and more Kingston Smith sort of arena, I would say.
Yeah, because we are having a center in India in which we have treated around 30,000 patients in naturopathy. So we want to have that kind of setup in UK. So that is already working here in India, in Delhi itself.
Yeah, I mean, the complementary sort of medicine, so to speak, in the UK is absolutely actually quite big now. It's growing. I was talking actually to one of the traditional Chinese medicine experts as well, and they are
only naturopathy, only nature.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's amazing in that sense, and so that's what I mean. It could well be a startup or innovative visa sort of type of arena that you might be looking at.
So where we can find out that list of agencies where we have to approach?
Yeah, I can definitely forward you that list. I mean, if you contact me via email, Kishore will be able to obviously pass that on to myself offline.
Okay. Can I have your email ID?
Mr. Sahapati, I will share the email address along with the text to everyone in each case. And maybe we can have an offline chat along with the representatives from the British High Commission, because they can also provide you information overall from a government support perspective as well. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take that offline.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, one last question, Gagandeep Singh. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gagandeep Singh. I am chartered accountant practicing in Delhi. So I'm not sure who is going to answer it, but I have a question like if we have to have an association of the professional firm from UK in India, like we have an associate firm in UK and we associate in India, like we exchange of business and sharing of business and association of. Is it possible anything of that sort?
Ian, sorry, I didn't get that. You're still on mute.
Yeah. Just to make sure I understand the question, you have a relationship with an organisation in the UK already?
Yeah, we have registration in India, and like Institute of Chartered Accountants of India have a tie-up with Institute of England and Wales over there.
Right. It's the ICAW, which is.
Yeah, ICAW. Yeah.
Yes.
I know them well because I pay them my membership subscriptions begrudgingly fairly often. So yeah, the partnership would work fine, and the actual transfer to actually to have some sort of arrangement where you do work for members of the ICAW and vice versa, that's fine, and it's just providing a service.
Yeah.
Okay, I think because of the regulatory restrictions, global law firms and even accounting firms, they are not allowed to directly practice in India. There is and that's why you do not have global accounting firms have direct presence. Also, the way the big fours work are, they have local partnership with local chartered accounting firms, and through them they represent them at the global sort of brand, so to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
the top four actually got in quite a bit of trouble. So yeah, the top four actually got in quite a lot of trouble because of that, because they weren't quite meeting that criteria in India only a year ago. So the way it works for our partnership in India, it's a network. So they're a member firm of a global network rather than that. So we are very much separate entities, and that's the approach in partnering up. Outsource solutions. So if the India businesses were looking to them, a provider was looking to provide services to the UK entity, as I say, that would just be a normal supplier contract.
Okay.
But not vice versa, it's slightly different.
Fine. Sure.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
So I think we've overshot our time by big time. So I think just very few people also remaining in the group. So quickly, let's wrap this. Thank you so much for being part of the session, and hope this was useful. And we'll definitely be circulating the slides, the deck, and our contact details so that we can have another set of conversation offline. Thanks again, Samir, for letting us sort of do this session with the Sikh Chamber of Commerce members. Yes, thank you so much once again, guys, and speak to you soon. See ya. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
On our behalf as well, a big thank you once again to Kishore, you, Ian, Antonio. Vikram had to drop out, but do convey our thanks once again. Thank you to all of you and all the participants who joined in. I hope you found answers to your queries and found insightful information. And do let us know if you have any queries. We'll forward them to Kishore, and other sessions that you would like us to do. Please let us know about that as well. Once again, thank you so much, Kishore, Ian, Antonio, for this session today. Thank you, and good afternoon, and have a good day, all of you.
Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.